It's me,
Dearly beloved.
SB. And today, well, before I say that, welcome to SB Nation. And we're here on Unsolicited. Remember, I got something for you. You didn't ask for it, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. I hope Mr. Boss. I hope everybody's doing well for this yet another Good Friday. We're going to keep it good. I know right now somebody is out there, watching or coming into the live, and they probably saying, I'm so tired of her calling it a Good Friday. Guess what? Today's show is just for you. We're doing some self-reflection. What did your mother teach you about relationships? Where's your patience? It's a Good Friday. Just work with me. But just in case there's no one out there saying that, thank you for being here. And remember, when you come into the live, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And we appreciate that so very much. So listen, we're going to have a little conversation before we get started on the topic. I got a couple things we're going to share. First thing I want to do is make sure I say thank you to all of you for going over to the channel, going over to SB Gear and picking up something that is 5 stars. I appreciate y'all so much for doing that. And listen, I'm ready for the pictures. So whenever you all are ready, put it on, do what you do, take a picture, and make sure you send it to sbshow2020@gmail.com. I would just love to see the 5 stars in action. And remember, if y'all see 4 stars walking down the street, it is not us. All right. It was not somebody just trying to pretend. Don't pay it no attention. Keep walking. Thank y'all for that, though, for your support and 5 stars. I want all of y'all to be 5 stars. So y'all go pick up a mug. We got some t-shirts. We got some hats. Listen, this is premium stuff, too. It washes real good. The color stays in it real deep. That's what you want. So make sure you check it out. The other thing is this. I mentioned last week that I'm really, really close to 4,000 subscribers. Thank you. Listen, I am 187 subscribers away from 4,000.
Dearly beloved.
I really would love to have that 187 subscribers by the end of the month, which is July. We got 7 days. Now, let me tell y'all how I'm going to do this. All of you that are in the live and in the chat, and all of you that are going to watch that, I'm going to say this again, hopefully. I want all of you to share this video with at least 3 other people. Just 3 others. I know y'all want to keep me to yourself. I get it. I appreciate it. Mr. Boss do too. But, we like to share and share alike. So for those of you who think the content is good enough, the show is good enough to put out there to 3 other people, I need for you all to share this content this weekend. Now, I'm going to be back with you again on Monday. It's going to be me and Black Man. But until then, I need for you all that are in the live right now to share this. Not necessarily this. I want y'all to go back. Go to the channel and find one you really like. One that just melted your heart. And go share that with at least 3 other people. And then tell somebody about Unsolicited, SB Nation, Security Boss, whatever you want to do. Just tell somebody about it. And I need 187 subscribers. And this is my goal, just to have it by the end of the month. So we have exactly 7 days, 1 week. And we will be at 4,000.
Dearly beloved.
Let me tell you about the 4,000. We're going to have a party. Because SB, we over here at SB Nation, we real, we low key. We don't be doing all that partying, all of that. But 4,000, y'all, within a year. We got to share that with y'all. So we're going to be doing some giveaways. We're going to have a little celebration. So right at 4,000, we're going to have a little celebration. We want to get it in 1 week. That's the end of July. We got exactly 7 days to do so. It all depends on how y'all count. Well, y'all know. But anyway, make sure you share the video. Anyone that's in the live right now, make sure you share it with at least 3 other people so we can get to the goal of 4,000 by the end of July. I would appreciate that so much. And thank you so much for being here and for doing that. And hopefully, I may remember to mention that again as the show goes on. Now, the next thing I want to mention to you, if this is your first time in my live, I do read all super chats. If I forget one, I am apologizing right now. I'm apologizing because we get busy sometimes. I get locked in these conversations. Mr. Boss and I, sometimes we just overlook them. Listen, forgive us for doing so. But we don't mean to do that. Now, with $9.99 and up, you get the Moneyline song, and it goes like this.
Moneyline, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Moneyline.
chats that are $9.99 and up will get the money line song. And definitely I would read your super chat. So Sir Hale, thank you so much for your $9.99 super chat. And he says $9.99 from Sir Hale Speaks Network. Thank you so much, Sir Hale. Thank you so much for filling in on Monday. It was excellent. You did a great job. If I have not told you that, but if I did, I'm telling you again. Thank you so much for doing that. You really showed up and it was an excellent show. Thank you. So that was that. And what else is it that I want to share for y'all? Listen, I can't not continue to forget my co-host. He's a regular part of my life, right? So Mr. Boss is here.
Dearly beloved.
How you doing, Mr. Boss? He gave me a thumbs up, guys. He doing okay. I'm gonna ask that forever question. Y'all think it's gonna make him work any harder? No.
Dearly beloved.
But anyway, he's here. We've been doing good today. We ain't fussed today. We ain't had no blowout today. So, but the day is not over. Don't be looking at that. Whatever. So anyway, today has been a good day. We started on Good Friday. We're going to keep it a Good Friday. And I am so glad that you all are here with me. I appreciate it so much. I enjoy being here with you guys. And we're going to get started by saying hello to a few people in the live that are in the comment section right now. And I just want to say hello to you guys and make sure that as you all come in, I'll try to look out and say hello to a few more. But again, if I don't see you right now and I don't get an opportunity to say hello, welcome to SB Nation. And listen, I just be all over the place sometimes. Just forgive me and work with me. How about that? I appreciate it. So Sir Hale, we've already said hello. Shelby. Shelby's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Eugene Steele, thank you so much for all your support. You know what? You're the best. I'm so glad you're here. The Thanos Theory. Hello. Happy Friday. It is. M. Mills, good to see you. Ine, it's good to see you also. Jordan, hey, how are you? I am so glad that y'all are here. Y'all ready to kick this show off. It should be a good one because this is something that we all need to do. A normal man, definitely. Tia, hello. Black man, how are you? And Black man has his $10 super chat and you get the money line song. But before we do it, let's read his comment. There you go again, trying to make me cuss. Then you're going to put a cuss word in church in the same. Welcome to SB Church, where the wisdom is free, but the super chats and the gift shop money goes to SB. You amazing.
Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline.
Yeah, yeah. I think I said hello to you already. Bolo, how are you doing? Good to see you. I just thought of a good, very good giveaway. What would I want to call it? Challenge, maybe? I think when I get to 4,000, one of the challenges will be, and you got to cam up, guys. But I want to see who has the best money line dance. What you think about that? Mr. Boss, you like that? What you think? Yeah, let's see who can move them shoulders the best. Yes. Big Bad Bull, hello. How are you? It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here and moderating with us tonight. I appreciate you so much. I think that's it. If I have missed someone at this moment, forgive me, but I definitely will continue throughout the show, try to shout you out. But y'all know when I get started, I get in here and I be zoning out because I just be talking to y'all like y'all sitting, like we sitting on the front porch somewhere. Y'all know anything about that? Sitting on the front porch. Am I really just so Southern that it's just ridiculous? But anyway, I like porches. I don't have one. I have a back porch, but I told my husband years ago I wanted the front porch, and guess what? I didn't get one. But anyway, we're going to keep it moving. So listen, today it is, what did your mother teach you about relationships? Now listen, the reason why and how I came up with this, y'all know for the last 3 Fridays, we've been just talking about, it started out with Brian. Brian, thank you so much for your comment. And where he said, marriage is just basically doomed. And one of the questions that we got from that was, were we even taught how to be married? Or, and I said, no, we were not. And then we went on and I said, was the example that we saw of marriage, was it even good? And I said, no, most of us did not have a good example, or were we taught on how to be married? And so every week I just been kind of diving into that just to try to change that narrative, because now, not all of you, but a few of you are now can't say that you haven't been taught or you don't know, because I've been giving some examples, and I hope the ladies who want to be married have been taking notes, and men, you also been taking notes and just sharing this video. And the one from last week, I think the one from last week was about wives, or that a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, I've been sharing little things about being married that I have picked up on in my time of being married. So this is some stuff that I did. Not saying it was all right, but this is some things that I learned over the years, how to be a wife and what have you. But see, today, I got to thinking, and I was like, wow, all these behaviors and all these different personalities that we have, where did all this come from? And I got to thinking, I'm like, we ain't come out the womb like this. This is some stuff right here. And then I was like, wow, what did my mom teach me about relationships? And I have to start with me. Excuse me, y'all. I had to start with myself, because that's what gets my little motor running. I have to reflect on my own life and what I did and things I received or what have you. So this is going to be a live based on self-reflection. This is going to give everybody who wants to be married, who wants to be in a committed relationship, an opportunity to check themselves and see what kind of value you're bringing to the relationship, or exactly what you're bringing to the relationship. Because you know what, when you embrace something and you call it y'all always hear this when we walk around here talking about, oh, that's just me. That's just who I am. All that junk. I figured you changed once when you became that. Why couldn't you change again to become a better person? What y'all think about that? Because, grown people, I hear it all the time. Oh, no, they ain't going to change. They ain't going to change. They going to be the same all their life. Like I said, you did not come out the womb that way. So you changed once when you adopted or adapted the negative behavior, so you can change again to become a better person if you want to. So that is the goal. A couple of weeks ago, I had an opportunity to go up on the Lapeef show, Sage Talk, and I was saying, no one's perfect. And Mr. Sage said, you know what? Let's don't say that, because being perfect or saying that is actually just giving us an excuse to not work hard. And you know what? I got to thinking about it. You know what? He's probably right. So we got to something else. Somebody else put a comment in there. I think at that time or later on, I saw it somewhere else. So this is not mine originally, but what I always say is to elevate yourself. Now that came from me. But what else is good though is we're not going to go for perfection. We're going to go for excellence. So let's just always seek excellence when we are trying to become better versions of ourselves. How about that, Mr. Lee? Thanks for that. So in that's where we need to be, seeking excellence, so we can add value to the relationship and to our partner and on to our own life, but it is going to require some self-reflection. So getting back to it, what did your mother teach you about relationships? I need y'all to think about that, because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to jumpstart y'all with mine, because y'all ain't going to believe this. Probably. I don't know. Maybe you will. My mother taught me how to be non-affectionate. I am not, or I wasn't, let me say it differently. I was not an affectionate woman, a younger person. Didn't know I wasn't, though. I had no idea until I met my husband. When I met my husband, I realized that I was not an affectionate person, because my husband is a very affectionate person. He's the kind of person that'll mess with your ears. He'll pull off your nose. He's going to do something whenever he's in your presence, all day, every day, right? That's what he's going to do. Now, I never knew that I was, operating in dysfunction, because if you don't have affection around you, you will never know that you're missing it. You won't know, because there was no arguing. There was no bickering. We was good. Everybody was good, smiling, laughing, but there was no affection. Nobody touched each other. Nobody said, I love you out of your mouth. Nobody verbally said it. Now, we did all the acts that a person would do that you knew loved you, or if I wouldn't have done it, you would know that person didn't love you. But as far as expressing love, LOVE, out of your mouth verbally, none of that. Hugs and kisses, none of that. Had no idea that I was operating in dysfunction without affection. Didn't know. I'm gonna tell you the first time I realized it, and it wasn't even with me. The first time I realized it was one day when my husband and I, were we married yet? Yeah, I think we were married by this time. We went to visit my mother. And, my husband has always called my mother mom, which was, but anyway, because remember, she was non-affectionate. But see, sometimes you just don't know who you are. You don't know, because if everybody around you is the same, then you good. You good. So what happened is we went to go visit her, and he, like I said, he's very affectionate. So when we got there, the first thing he did, and the first thing we were doing, we had gotten accustomed to doing, is when we walk in an environment, we're huggers. So the first thing he did was, hey, Ma, and went to hug my mom, and my mom pushed him, put her hands up. It startled her that he was coming in for a hug. And we was like, what's up? She didn't know. She was like, taken back. Not like in a negative way. It was just more so, what you doing? She had never experienced that before. And that was when I realized that I grew up in a place where there was no affection. Because she was like, I mean, she smiled and laughed and giggled, but she was so uncomfortable that it was like, oh, wow, this is deep. So everybody, we was like looking like, what do you do next? If she's pushing, she's like this. So you just like drop, he just kind of fell back and just went on. We ignored it. But of course, that was some conversation for us on the ride home. We had to self-reflect. I had to self-reflect on, what is this about? Where did this come from? And, it goes deep. It goes really, really deep because, I'm not my mother. My mother has passed away. And I know by now, any one of you all who watch me or have been watching for any length of time know that. And the traumas and the things that she went through in her own relationship shaped her. And to the point where she had a wall up that was so big, a wall of protection. She had a wall of protection around her, and only she knew it. And right in that moment when my husband was going in to penetrate that wall, I bet she at that moment filled with emotion, and she didn't know what to do. She pushed back. So, of course, now I had to start examining myself and what we do and how I operate and all of that stuff. So I did, of course. And of course, I just submitted to it because really it feels good to be loved that way, to be hugged on, messed with, it's good. It's good. I can't complain about that, but it's just something I had to adapt to because in my family, what my mother taught me was, we're going to put a wall up because I got to protect myself, because she had been hurt, I'm assuming, so many times that she could not let anyone in her space and had no idea. Now, how many of you ladies are like this? Or men, how many of you are like this? Have put that wall up. You're good. You're not mad. You're not angry. You're not fussing at anybody, but you have that wall up. And right when somebody comes in to penetrate it with a hug, a smile, whatever it is, you tense up. So that's what she did. So this is when I realized that I had a lot of dysfunction in my household, because you would have never known. On the exterior, no. Everything looks real good. The kids look good. She looks good. Everybody's smiling. We're going to church every Sunday. Everything is good. But there is something that is missing. And that's what it was. No affection. And then that what some would call a love language. No, there was none. There was no one. She could not say that she loved her children, but she could show us each and every day how much she loved and cared for us and cared about us. But she had a wall up that was so great that that type of behavior, that type of vulnerability would just break her down. And she wasn't ready to experience that on a daily basis. Or even she wasn't even ready to let it go, because that's what took her from point A to point B. So that's where I'm at today. Affection was something that I grew up without. Now, listen, I didn't intend to bring that into my marriage. And I don't know if it even got to a point where it was negative with my husband, because again, remember, we didn't realize it because I always operated like a wife. So, and I had no problem telling my husband that I loved him. That wasn't an issue with mine. And I cleaned up the house. I did all those things that my mother showed and taught us to do. We didn't play like that. You know, you do what you're supposed to do as a wife and as a woman. So that part all came very, very easy. But if I didn't realize, though, that I was so standoffish. And I'm probably pretty standoffish now. I mind my business. Probably in my conversation, y'all pretty much pick up on that. SB don't do a lot of people. I don't. But that's just, and you know, again, I'm dealing with the stuff that what shaped me as a child. So I need for you all, and we're gonna get to another one, but we're not gonna leave affectionate, because that's valuable in a relationship. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're doing today. We're reflecting on what our parents, mother and father, taught us about relationship. We're going to just touch on a couple things, and it's not going to be, all these things are not going to be me. I just had a great example of affection, but it's just going to be some things that I hear, you know, when I'm here in these YouTube spaces, I hear people say things often. And when I hear them say things, I absolutely know where those things come from. I know what that person is lacking. And I'm like, okay. So I'm gonna share a couple, or when they respond to certain things, I know and I gather what they're lacking. So, or I see exactly where they are, and I'm like, wow, okay. So then I know too that there's some dysfunction that created that, because remember, everything that we did when we were younger, you know, or what our parents exposed us to, those are the things that actually shaped us, and that is why we act and do the things that we do. So when you talk about going into a marriage relationship, you want to be as whole as you possibly can, you know, and some of those small things, we're going to call them small, but some of those things kind of slip through the cracks, and we bring those dysfunctions into the marriage. And sometimes it causes a world of problems. And this is the most important thing that we need to know. I was thinking about this today. Why don't we try? You know, I don't know, when does a relationship get so bad when you say, I don't want it anymore? Now, I do know abuse. You know, you don't want that. Nobody wants that. I'm almost sure that the abuser doesn't want to abuse, and the one that is being the victim doesn't want that anymore. So I get it. But anything less than that, how do we get to the point where we say, I don't want this anymore? And whatever that is, which I think I know what it is, but I will get there in just a little bit. We got to keep ourselves from getting there. And we have to self-reflect on what we're actually bringing to the table. You know, we have to self-reflect, because I think often we don't. We be thinking we have it together. I can tell you everything about somebody else, about my husband. You know, I can tell you everything he did, but I won't be checking myself. I won't be checking myself for the lack of affection, you know, and how damaging that could be for a man that has to have it. That's who he is. He loves it. So what is he walking around here missing because I didn't grow up in it? You know, if you're not having these conversations with your spouse, then how y'all getting anywhere? You know, when do you get to the point where you say, you know what? I don't want this anymore. We're talking about marriage, right? We're not talking about your boyfriend, your girlfriend. We're talking about you entered into a relationship with someone that you said and you vowed to become one with them. Y'all need to say that to yourselves 100 million times before you decide to do it. You're entering into a relationship with someone where you vowed to become one with them. And then one day you just get to the point you be like, oh, I don't want this no more. You don't want yourself no more? Wow. What did I miss? You know, seems like to me it would be quite a joy into finding someone that you can become with, that you can actually trust. And how do we miss it so bad? I don't know. I guess we miss it because we don't self-reflect, and what is really in us, we don't know about, and what we attract, or what the example is that we're giving is what we actually attract. So that's why we be so jacked up. Did y'all understand that? That was a lot. Let me slow down. Say it again. What I said was, we don't understand what is actually in us because we don't self-reflect. So what actually we're the example of is the trash that we get. And once we get that trash, and then years go by, we then figure out, oh, that's not what I want anymore. But that was actually who you are in the example you gave, because that's what you attracted. So I would say to all those who want to be married, and for those who are already in the relationship, let's just do some self-reflecting. Let's just do it. Let's just get it right So we won't find ourselves one day saying something crazy like, hey, I don't want this anymore. Right? So going back to self-reflecting. And this could be the man or the woman. The next thing I noticed, and this is not one of my things. I'm not this person. I'll talk your head off to try to figure out who you are and where you are, what have you. But I noticed that quite often people in relationships become very dismissive. Dismissive. What is that? You know, you ain't got the time nor the patience to hear what someone else is saying or bringing to you. Where did you get that from? Did your mother teach you how to be dismissive? Did your dad teach you how to be dismissive? You know, how would that look in with someone teaching you this? What traits did you pick up on that equals dismissive? You know, did you see a whole bunch of ego? Was your mama puffed up? Was your dad puffed up? Where did you get it from? Where did this dismissiveness come from? Because that's who you are. And you got to cut it out, because all the instructions I ever read on being a husband or wife, you know, it doesn't include anything about being puffed up. That's not what you got to be. You got to love. So if you're exhibiting dismissiveness, reflect and figure out, did my mama teach me that? You know, anytime I come in the room or my daddy came home from work and he'd be like, hey, babe. And she'd be like, Or every time he wanted to have some conversation about something and she'd be like, Or she'd be like, he tried to talk to him. She'd be like, what you want? Ooh, y'all, did your mama teach you dismissiveness? It's real, y'all. Y'all seen this before. Be just dismissive of the man or the woman. It can go both ways. Y'all know that. It's easy for that to happen. But I have seen some very dismissive behavior within relationships. How about this? Just be quiet. Shut up. Damn, I don't want to talk right now. Ooh. Who gave you permission to do that? Was it your mom or was it your dad? We got to self-reflect, y'all, because we got to fix this. This is not something that a long-term relationship can handle. It can't handle dismissive behavior from the woman nor the man. You got to communicate with your wife, and you got to find a way to communicate well with your wife or your husband. You can't dismiss your man like he's a kid, like he's not important. He has value. We'll dismiss somebody and then we'll turn around and be like, oh, they're not valuable, or where's his value? Or why he acting like, men just act, You just dismissed him all this week like he was nothing, but now on Friday he has to have some value. Or was it payday that he needed to have the value? That's Friday typically. So on Friday, when he got his check, he all of a sudden became valuable. Where y'all get
Dearly
that from?
beloved.
Is it your mother or your father? Y'all check yourselves. Self-reflection Friday. Hey, I like that. Self-reflection Friday. This is what we're doing. How about that? Where'd you get it from? Your mother or your father? Now, this is a big one, y'all. Where'd you get that lack of trust? Well, how can I say it? Where'd you get that lack of trust from? Who was it? Was it mom or was it dad? Y'all know, women, I'm gonna tell y'all, because I can see y'all better than anybody, women, because I'm a woman. Yeah. Where did y'all get that thing from where you say you can't trust your husband with the money, so much so that you can't even put your money in one pot with him? Was it your daddy that was out there in them streets? Or was it your mama that was stealing money out of his pocket when he went to sleep at night? Which one was it? I don't know. Might have been both. Y'all saw this. Mama would tell you, don't let your right hand know what your left hand doing. And y'all believe that? Y'all holding on to it? You brought it into your relationship and you're thinking about taking it into another one. Now, this is a person, remember, I say it 1,000 times, a person that you're trying to become one with. So when you're hurting yourself, or when you're keeping from yourself, you're keeping from him too, or I should say it differently. When you're keeping from your spouse, your husband, then you're keeping from yourself also. Is it possible that we can think about it that way? Where do we learn this? Is it any part of that acceptable? And if it is, I need to know why. Now, listen, let me interrupt myself right now, because listen, I'm not doing a panel today, but when I'm done or when I get to a good place, we will drop the link, but because I want to get some feedback. If there's some, I want some of you or whomever, if you have a question or pushback or what have you, to come up, and I want to hear what you have to say to this, because remember, we're correcting the bad behavior, or we're making and creating new examples of how we should be within marriage. Now, I'm talking about a marriage that takes you from day 1 to year 27. I'm not talking about a short-term fling. I'm talking about a marriage. So that's what we're talking about, because I hate the fact that someone would get up there and say this. I'm about ready for this to be over with. What? What? Your marriage? And guess what? I hate for somebody to say it in 2022, because listen, if you anywhere near YouTube, y'all hear about these gender wars that are going on between the man and the woman. And why in the world would you want to be anywhere near this type of behavior? I can't imagine. So again, we're creating new examples and becoming better people. We're trying to create excellence within marriage so we can be a part of that and live as happy as we can ever after. And to the Creator come back and get us, y'all know. But where did we get that from? And who said that was right? How do we just adapt these things, adapt these things into our life and just walk them out like it's the best thing ever? Who does that? Why? And then we be talking about we married and it's good and all that. It ain't good. It's crazy. But nobody sits back and examines. Nobody self-reflects on the things that we bring into our relationships that is dysfunctional, that we're asking someone else to partake in. Now, he got his and I got mine, right? But we're not even trying to check ourselves. It's just supposed to be that way. No, it's not. So it's just so much time for us to correct it. And again, I'm saying to you all, where did you learn that the left hand don't need to know what the right hand doing, and what did it do to your psyche? So now you don't trust the man that is getting ready to impregnate you, and you're going to have kids with, and you're going to live with him the rest of your life, but you don't even trust him. We got to check that. If this is all true, we need to figure out why we don't. What is it about this man I don't trust? Here we go again, guys. We married someone that we don't trust because at the time I wasn't trustworthy. And the example that I was putting out there was lack of trust. I was jacked up. I got what I wanted. Now I'm married. And I'm like, looking at him outside because I got it together. No. See, I was the example of a lack of trust. I was example of jacked up stuff. And I got the man that was reflecting exactly what I was. And we got married. Now I done growed up a little bit. Now I'm okay. But I'm still not letting the right hand know what my left hand doing. But I'm looking at him crazy and saying it's his fault. Or vice versa. I told y'all she was stealing out of his pocket. And who knows? And he was hanging out in the streets. So both of that equaled lack of trust. And I picked up on it. Not me. Not that one. But anyway, that I brought that into a relationship. So much so I can't even put my money in one pot. Now, again, y'all, we're average people. These are things that should be valuable to us in a relationship. It should be. Now, whether it is or not, we got to figure out why. Because I'm beginning to ask myself, if y'all ain't carrying this type of things with you or character or asking yourself these questions, why are you getting married? Why would you get married? Because I can't see anything that will hold you together because it's built on so many lies and so much dysfunction. Why would you even bother? You got to know that it's going to fall apart really soon. Because it just doesn't make sense. So always figure it out. What did your mother teach you, or what did your dad teach you that you brought along with you that now we have to correct if we honestly want to be in a relationship going forward that's going to last for a long time? What else do we have? Oh, I got this good one. Now, some would say this everybody, but no, it ain't everybody. It's not. That's selfishness. It's all about me. Where'd you get that from? Was it from your mom or was it from your dad? Selfish behavior could look like this, especially in a traditional home. See, the man is making the final decisions, and the final decision is supposed to be made by the man for the betterment of the family. But all I saw was dad got a new Cadillac. Or dad went and got a new motorcycle. He had 4 kids and got a motorcycle. Yeah, this is not a true story. He got a motorcycle, but it's true for somebody. Daddy went and got a motorcycle that we couldn't afford. He got 4 kids. And then I'm wondering where the men or where a man would be selfish at, because he made the fine decision. So the wife could say all day long, hey, that might not be the best thing for us right now. Yeah, but I want this motorcycle. I work hard and I deserve it. Y'all have heard that before. Come on now.
Dearly beloved.
You heard it. So when the little boys are looking at it, because you got 2 boys and 2 girls, but when the little boy look at it, he's like, Dad, I love that motorcycle. You gonna let me ride on the back? You're like, yes, son, come on. One son at a time. He went and took him on a ride. He loved it. But he had no idea. Daddy had no idea that he was painting a picture for his son that your daddy do what he want to do because he the head of the household. Now, it ain't got to make sense, but he makes the final decision. And of course, his wife, who was a traditional woman, went along with it. She didn't fight. She didn't fuss, but it happened. So then we paint a picture of selfishness to a young man that is going to eventually have a wife and kids. Or the woman, how about all them dresses that she hid in the trunk of the car and wouldn't bring them out until the husband wasn't at home? Spent the money, then turned around and told a lie and said she didn't have the money to get more money to cover what she spent. She was a liar and a cheater and selfish because it was all about her. How about that? What did mom teach you? All of this junk. So what I'm saying to you all is that this is time for us to self-reflect. Figure out where you are. Figure out what junk you have in you. Figure it out, because we had terrible examples of good marriages. We did. And now we're terrible people. I almost know they wasn't no good either. I ain't gonna lie. They wouldn't hit no nothing. I mean, they was our mom and dad, but they wouldn't hit no nothing. Now, my granddad, I ain't gonna let y'all talk about my granddad. My granddad was the bomb, but my mom and daddy, they wouldn't hit no nothing. They was great people, but they wouldn't hit no nothing. Now that I'm older, I can see the junk that they contributed to each other and to me. I can see it. I can see it crystal clear now. Going through it, though, you see everybody's great. Mom's perfect, dad's better. But now I see it, I'm like, y'all a mess. Y'all a mess. So when are we going to continue to live in the mess that they created? No, we're not. We're going to try to be self-reflective and be the best versions of ourselves so we can be good partners or good spouses to our husbands and or wife. Because for me, y'all already know that I'm stuck on the nuclear family. I happen to think that that's the best and only way to get out of this. Oh, y'all, it's a slippery slope and it's going down real quick. Our men are going to be locked up or deleted, or live alternative lifestyles and whatever. There are not going to be any little brown babies being made if we don't put this thing together quickly. And if y'all don't know it yet, y'all just need to check out some of the stuff that is going on around you. You got to. But guess what? There will not be any little brown babies being made because our men will not be here. They will be locked up, deleted, or just living an alternative lifestyle, or just deciding, hey, I don't want to have any brown babies anymore because of whatever reason. So I'm saying this because, of course, I believe in the nuclear family, and that's the way I think we should go. But I want everyone to self-reflect and figure out, what did your mom teach you? I want you to figure out who you are, or what is it that you're carrying around with you that you've already embraced and called you, and you just say to yourself, oh, that's just me. I mean, I hear it all the time. Oh, it's just me. Or, it's gotten real good now. Some people say, oh, that's just men. No, y'all, it's not. This is learned behavior. Something we saw in our childhood shaped us, and now we believe in it and think, probably most of us think it's halfway right, but it's not. There are clear instructions on being married, right? All we got to do is go look at them. Go look at them and see exactly what it says. And in that, you'll find out that selfishness is not one of those things that he put in us. I mean, your creator. Being puffed up is not one of those things that he put in you. That means your creator. It's not. Stealing from each other. Y'all already know. This is all the things that was created or that not created. These are all the things that was groomed. This is how we was groomed for whatever reason. And I'm telling y'all to check yourself and figure out what's in you, because you want to bring the best version of yourself to that mate. You want to be the best example of yourself so you can attract that mate. But if you right now, if you're junky, then you're going to attract junk. I hate to say that, y'all, but it's true. And then you know it's true because I'm going to tell you why. Whenever it breaks up later on, y'all be saying stuff like, dang, I should have saw it coming. I did kind of see. I knew that dude. Yeah, I saw that. I should have known that, but no, I just dismissed it. Why? So you be seeing all the little red flags, and then you get into the relationship anyway. You even marry him. Why? I don't know. Because you're not loving him. You don't love a person that you ain't willing to go all out for. You're not loving a person that you ain't willing to mix your money up with. You don't love them. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what you're doing, but you don't love them. If you love a person, you'll put your money in one pot with them. You definitely will. Now, y'all can go in and shake your head if you want to. You don't love them if you don't. And a lack of trust, it all means the same thing to me, because you got to know the creator is the one who's in charge, right? So if you don't like him enough to put your money in one pot with him, please don't marry him.
Dearly beloved.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Keep your money to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Because that's not how it's supposed to be. Remember, you're becoming one with someone. Now, I'm talking about in a marriage relationship. I'm not talking about a boyfriend, a girlfriend, just dating, or maybe shacking up. All right? I'm not talking about that. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you all. It's so many more things that we bring into relationships that I could go over, but I need for you all to check yourselves. Now, I told y'all my number one thing was affection. I didn't know. Because it was just, I lived in a non-affectionate environment. There was no outward expressions of love. Can I say that? Yeah, there were no outward expressions of love in my home. Now, when I say that, I mean hugs and kisses. House was always clean. Kids always decked out, iron. Everything was immaculate in my home, though. My home life. I had dinner, lunch. I had all that. I went to the dentist. I'm saying that, guys, because I had conversations with some older people, and I used to say stuff like, well, my mom taking me to the dentist, and they'd be like, you go to the dentist? Yeah. What do you mean go to the dentist? It was some people, young people didn't go to the dentist. So everything on the outside was in excellence, looked good, but we lacked the love expression. There was no affection. And I brought that into my marriage. I had no idea I was missing anything. I thought I was pretty grounded until I met my husband. Now, I've said many times before that love, actual love, reveals a lot of things. So that was one of them. When you start to see it, when someone does love you and they give you outward expressions of it, then you realize what you're lacking. And that was a major one for me. But I corrected myself. You know, we had communication. We sat down and we talked about it. Oh, that's another one. That's another one. That's a big one. Communication. Who taught you how to have an argument? Who taught you how to cuss each other out? Who was that? Was it your mom or was it your dad? You know, when you came in the house, rough. Some of them talk rough. It could be mom or dad. Nasty talking, crazy, rough, loud. Who was the loud one in the house? Because remember, Black women are known for being loud. So who was it that taught you that? But it didn't have to be your mom. It could have really been your dad. But who was it? Which one was it? You picked it up and you felt like it was right, especially when you call yourself mad. Oh, let me tell you another one. My husband helped me to this one day. He said, lots of times I used to see young men and they used to have these fits of rage. They'd be like going off, just losing it, yelling and screaming and just commanding attention and, owning a spot. Just y'all seen it before, right? And I'd be like, dang, wow, why is he doing that? He said, sometimes he just shows out. They just showing out to get what they want. Now, y'all know that came from somewhere, right? It was either daddy or mom. They taught us how to show out to get what we want. Y'all know they did. And we just grew up with it and just made it bigger. And guess what? Some of us now, I heard a young man the other day say he went and got his gun and shot it up in the air. How about that, y'all? To get the girl to act right. He shot the gun up in the air. Now, guess what? They charged him with 4 counts of 4 counts of I forgot what it was, but it was 4 counts because he didn't realize that his kids was in the car with the girl, with the baby's mama. The kids was in the car. So in other words, it was 3 kids in the car and the baby mama. He wanted her to get scared. So he went and got his gun and shot it up in the air, showing out. He had no idea those people were in the car. She called the police, and then guess what happened? He went to jail. So there you go. Who taught us that? Your mother, your father. Who did it? But these are all the things that we bring into relationships, and this is time for us to self-reflect on what it is that we're doing and who we are and what we're bringing into these relationships, because it's not good. And these are not things that we should bring into the relationship. This is not going to make a long-term relationship. You're going to wake up one morning and be like, I don't want to be married anymore. You're going to get tired of the fussing and the arguing, the stealing, the cheating, the non-affection, the dismissiveness. You're going to get tired of it. And then what? So I just wanted to share that with you all. I'm going to drop the link. If any of you are in the comment section that want to come up and tell me about anything that you've self-reflected on, that you know that I got to fix this before I take it into the relationship, or even ask me a question or two about something that you're questioning yourself about. Because once you start self-reflecting, you can make a change in your life. You really, really can. I also had one other one the other day. Was this. It wasn't me, but it was a story that a young lady, I was talking to her about. She's always telling her husband what to do. And, this particular time, she told him what to do. And he said, no, I want to do it this way. And she was like, but why? But why? And he was like, because I'm a man and I got my own brain. And she thought about it and she was like, you know what? He's right. He is a man. He has his own brain. So where did that controlling spirit come from? Where did all that control come from? Was it your mom or was it your dad? Because remember, we are people. We are. A woman is a woman. I have a brain. I have an opinion. I can make a decision. I can do all of that. And my husband's the same. And we have to respect each other. But we first have to realize we have that controlling spirit within us. And where did it come from? We have to communicate about it and get rid of it.